Hello and welcome back to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Ferguson, writer for UCLA on SI. Today we're going to be breaking down UCLA's win against Rutgers, things that went right, things that went wrong, and that kind of thing. But before we get started, I want to thank everyone who's listening right now. I appreciate it a lot, whether it's Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube. It all just means so much to me. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. UCLA was able to win this game 98-66. This is now back-to-back games where UCLA has scored 95 plus points. Granted, against Indiana, it was in a double overtime thriller, but still, point stands. UCLA is feeling themselves offensively. Still, I thought the defense could have played better. 66 points to Rutgers. Not what you want to see. They gave up 40 points in that first half. UCLA had to score 50 just to outscore them. It was a pretty ugly first half, all things considered. Offensively, UCLA did fine, but defensively, that's kind of where it started to sting. The second half, UCLA was able to regroup. They allowed 26 points to Rutgers, and they scored 46 of their own, totaling that final score. But overall, I thought this game went great for UCLA. It was a convincing win they needed. Again, they might have wanted to do better things on defense, but still, I thought overall, when you look at the performances we got in this game, it really looked like UCLA is starting to figure it out. Well, of course, Rutgers is not the gold standard in the Big Ten or college basketball for that matter. It was still a good way to bounce back, especially after that loss to Indiana. Will they be able to build on this momentum against Washington? Probably. I think there's a good chance UCLA kind of maintains some of this offensive production, especially with what we saw from our bench players, which I'll get into a little bit later. But overall, again, a great win by the Bruins when it's all said and done. Like I said, they needed it bad, especially with, what's up next. But going over some of the players, we'll start with Trent Perry. He had 10 points in this one, 7 rebounds and 5 assists. He shot 4 from 6 from the field and 2 for 2 from the three-point line. He played 43 minutes against Indiana, so obviously fatigue might have become a factor in this one. And plus, it was a quick turnaround, coming off a game from Saturday. But still, I thought Perry played well. He didn't hurt UCLA in any way. 7 rebounds, 5 assists. That is something that is going to leave a good taste in your mouth when it's all said and done. Moving on, we'll go to Donovan Dent. Again, I thought Dent played amazing in this one. He scored 13 points, had 11 assists, 31 minutes of play. Masterclass from Dent. Obviously, more scoring would have been needed, but still, he did what he needed to do. Shot 50%. I believe he went, 50% from 3 as well. 1 for 2. But 13 points, 11 assists. You can't really complain about that. His facilitating is still at such a high level. It's something that UCLA will need kind of in this later stretch of the season against, Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois too. Those are teams that Dent is going to need to be able to get the ball to his best players on the court. And I think he really showed, the blueprint in this one. And that's exactly what we need moving forward. Next up, Eric Daly Jr., 17 points, 50% shooting, 7 from 8 from the line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Not a bad game from Daly. I really liked his scoring in this one. Like I said, entering this one, I thought his rebounding would be more of a factor, but obviously we're starting to see that spread out a lot more. It's not as top heavy as it was for a while during UCLA's win streak against Purdue, Northwestern, and Oregon. He was averaging 7.5 rebounds per game, but we just haven't seen that, especially against Indiana and now Rutgers. But again, it's starting to get spread out more. We're starting to see Trent Perry make a big impact. Bill O'Dell, we'll get to here in a second, has been great rebounding as well. And obviously Xavier Booker starting to kind of slide into his role a lot cleaner than he has had earlier in this season. Next up, Tyler Bilodeau, 19 points, 6 for 11, 3 for 6 from the field, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 fouls. Great game from Bilodeau. I really thought this was going to be a 30 bomb for Bilodeau the way he was playing. I believe he had 13 around there in the first half, and he was just making everything as Bilodeau has shown to do this season. Still would have liked to see more scoring, but again, 19 points, 7 rebounds. You can't complain about that. Looking ahead, though, we're going to need Bilodeau's numbers to have a significant uptick. especially in the scoring. His rebounding right now, where it's at, I think he had 11 against Indiana, again with extended play time, but still. He's starting to make more strides rebounding, and he has been UCLA's best rebounder in these last two matchups. And I really want to see him build on that. I think Bilodeau has all the tools as a scorer to be really good, but his rebounding is something he can improve on. He was also much more disciplined in this one. He fouled out against Indiana, and this one he only had 2 fouls. So he's starting to take a step in the right direction. It seems like he's fixed a lot of his mistakes. And overall, I thought the Bruins played well, especially off the back of Tyler Bilodeau. He was able to provide consistent scoring, something that was kind of missing, against these other teams UCLA's faced this season. To round off the list, we might cover a few bench players, but I do want to talk about Xavier Booker. What a game from Booker here. 24 points, 10 from 11 from the field, and then he went perfect from 3, 4 for 4. He had 5 rebounds and 3 assists and played just 29 minutes. A career game for Xavier Booker when it's all said and done. 24 points is a career high for him, but he played phenomenal. In the paint, he was very physical, something that I wanted to see more in the Indiana game, but still a 7-point per game score, scoring 24. Obviously, again, Rutgers is not the best team, but his ability to score from anywhere tonight was truly special. There are a lot of games this season where you would hold your breath when he would pull up from 3. We know that's something in his bag, but still, just an absolute masterclass from Booker. 90% shooting, just about. You can't complain about anything from his game. More rebounds maybe, but still having Booker put a Bilodeau numbers, Sky Clark numbers, that is something you love to see, especially from Booker, who has struggled all season up until like these last couple games where he's kind of been forced to play these long minutes. I love what we're seeing, and if he can carry this on, I think UCLA will have no trouble against some of these tougher teams. But again, that's highly contingent on if, Booker is able to maintain this production, which I believe is more likely or is less likely than it is likely. But until I see otherwise, I'm not going to pretend that Booker is going to, be a 20-point scorer to end the season. But still, a great game from Booker. Came against, not the best team, but it was still a big game for UCLA in turning things around this season. But that kind of rounds off our players. I mean, I could give nods to, Jamar Brown, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and score a point. We also saw Eric Frenny. He hadn't played much. He played 2 minutes against Oregon, didn't play a minute against Indiana. I wanted to see him back in that rotation for the Bruins, just simply because UCLA needs that depth at the guard position, and that's something Freeney offers. And I thought when he was on the court, he was very confident. I loved his play style. He would dribble in, and it looked like it honestly looked pretty unguardable. But still, he shot 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Again, that's kind of UCLA kind of patchworking together what Sky Clark's numbers are supposed to look like if he was playing this game. But overall, great game from Freeney. Good step in the right direction. Maybe too late because we never know when we're getting Sky Clark back. But now we're starting to get to the 9 games in a row without him. So he's going to be coming back soon. He's trending that. I know I've probably said that for the last couple weeks now. But still, I loved how Freeney played. Moving forward, I really want to see this impact kind of moving forward. But again, that kind of rounds out the players who I thought had a great game. Obviously, I listed the starters, but I believe they all played well. Double digits from all the starters in this one. Just a great game against, not a good opponent. But we've seen how UCLA has played to their opponents' levels this season. On like a more positive note, like Indiana, Arizona, teams like that, and a more negative note like Cal Poly, Cal, just some of those teams who are not on UCLA's level. But kind of going over some more broad stats for UCLA, they shot 56% as a team from the field, 57% from 3. They also shot 89%, so pretty much 90% from the free throw line, which was great. They only had 2 turnovers. I thought that was a very clean game. They needed to have a clean game, and they did. And they scored 17 points off of Rutgers' 9 turnovers. Again, great. 35 rebounds. Not necessarily the number you want to see, as we're heading into the later ends of the season, but still they were able to rebound Rutgers by 5. Again, just a pure domination all across the board for UCLA. 15 points from the bench. UCLA, I don't even think they had a single point against Indiana, so we're starting to see them exercise that depth, something that we have not seen this season. But overall, I think UCLA did what they needed to do. They were able to score at a high level. Again, that's all we could expect from this game here for UCLA. Anything less would have been disappointing. I also thought that UCLA leading this game by 36 minutes was really impressive. It did get tied there in that first half when the defense was kind of breaking down. But again, that was off of Caden Powers, who scored, I believe, 15 of his 18 points in the first half. 3 for 5 in the field. 3 for 5 from 3 and 7 for 11 from the field. It looked like it was going to be like a Nick Dorn kind of situation where, a player gets hot and UCLA just kind of stutters out to end the game. But obviously, as we saw, a lot of UCLA starters did step up and were able to kind of neutralize that instantly with their own scoring, as well as some better defense in the second half. But again, that's pretty much all I have today. If I was going to give an MVP to someone in this game, you got to give it to Booker. 24 points, completely unprecedented. Just a beautiful game. But that's going to wrap things up here on the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Ferguson. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think on UCLA's game against Rutgers. Up next is Washington, which will be a fun one. Another real test for UCLA as they kind of head into the really scary stretch of their schedule. But again, that's it for today. And as always, 4 is up and have a good night.